Today we are continuing in My Conversations with Poor Souls, the Diary of Princess Eugenie von der Leyen. And today we are talking about, well, we'll start out with Carpenter Michelle, but as she goes through her diary, for those of you that are seeing me just for the first time, and if it is, go check out the other parts, different people that have visited her, different souls, and they have gone back, and people, once they read her diary and she was deceased, they were able to put in names to some of the people because she always wrote only in initials oftentimes. So for the ones where names are mentioned or times or dates, it is because afterwards the family members helped put names in with some of the ones that she spoke of that she didn't, identify initially. So today in her diary, we're talking about Carpenter Michelle, and we'll proceed and see how many other souls I can get in here in this next 10 minutes. If you like what you're hearing, please support my ministry, like, subscribe, share, and if you can give a financial contribution, click on the link below. It really, really does help. Carpenter Michelle. In summer, I saw a woman walking up and down the villa 3 times in a ... So with a namelessly sad expression. When I asked her, the answer was, "No one is praying for me." Otherwise, she remained silent to all questions. At that time, I had not yet been told to pray with them. So the appearance was always shorter. Praying is also a relief for me. I am less afraid. March 11th, 1923, I was hardly in bed at 11 o'clock when something came in. I thought it was my sister, and I didn't turn the light on right away. But then I already felt what it was. At the door stood the carpenter Michel, a former sacristan. Don't know when he died. Said to him straight away, "Yes, Carpenter Michel, what do you want from me?" Then he cried out and was gone. He's my problem child now. He comes every night now. Is horrible because nothing can be done with him. He was there for half an hour from 4 a.m. to 4:30 a.m., walking around the room, moaning and not looking pretty. But the good Lord will help me. March 15th at 11:30 a.m. in the night, he is back. I say, on Saturday, there is a holy mass for you. Leave me alone. What have you done? Answer me once. God's robbery. A sacrilegious theft, he screams. And then I say, can I help you? He nods his head and is gone. And as you'll notice, she doesn't have to do much for all these souls that we keep reading about. She always offers a mass and they are gone. I would think that if they needed more than one, that they would stay or continue to return, but I am not God nor a priest, and I can't answer that. But frequently the mass is sufficient for them to stop visiting her. Say a mass for your loved ones, at least one. The next group she talks about in her diary is a lot of women and men. March 21st, 1923, Victor B. came to me in the night, looked at me sadly, didn't answer anything, and then left again. The next day, on March 22nd, I woke up at 1 o'clock and I heard myself saying, "Do you want to help them like you helped me?" I turned on the light, and there I saw Pastor S. next to my bed. I couldn't say for sure, though, since he was gone right away. Only now did I see what else was there. A lot of women and men. Victor was there again. It was very bad. But they were gone soon. I could not count how many. The next day, on March 23rd, in the evening, again, stayed late. There are 16 of them. I know 5 of them. Victor, Maria M., Perpetua R., Herr Gottschluster, Baptist B. I asked, "What do you want?" No answer. So I said, "We are praying for you. You don't have to come anymore." Then Victor says, "We have to." And I asked, "Who wants it?" but there was no answer. They stay a little longer, all look at me, and then they leave. Every night they were there. Nothing can be done with them. I pray, and after a while, they go again. March 26th, there are only 9 left, complete strangers to me. I ask, where are the others? But I got no answer. There is an asterisk right here that says, questions that only arise from curiosity and the desire for sensation are never answered. The reader will discover this fact again and again as you go through this diary. So she continues in her diary. Now these 9 come every night. It's not bad. I pray, and after a while they go away. March 29th, all 16 are back. One of the ones I don't know comes up close and says, thank you. I don't have the courage to touch her hand. She stretches both out to me. I ask, may you go to heaven at Easter? She says, to the light, very clearly. Couldn't mean anything else. They all come very close to me now, not pleasant. I give holy water, then they'll soon be gone. The strange thing was that the 16 needed very little space. A very small bunch stood in front of me, and yet they were large and small figures. The one who spoke to me was quite young with a friendly expression, wearing a black dress and a white apron. All were in working clothes. The next person she talks about in her diary is called Valet Nicholas. For some time now, I've been seeing the valet, Nicholas, who was with my grandfather for a long time, but he only ever walks through the rooms on the first floor. He seems to be looking for something. I haven't been able to talk to him yet because I've never been alone with him. But now I have to go through bad things at night, every night since Easter. I feel there's a lot around me, but I can't see. But I hear walking, breathing, always very close in front of me. And then an indefinable noise like banging against the wall. It's much worse than when I see something. Once it started at 11 o'clock and ended at 5 o'clock. It is impossible to sleep at that time. I got up and I sat down in the corridor, but it followed me. When I asked, couldn't you make yourself understood? Something touched my shoulder. I was very scared. The next person she talks about is Babette. April 21st, 1923. Saw 2 women kneeling during the Saturday rosary in church for the second time today. They disappeared and came back. When I went in afterwards with the pastor, hoping that he would see them too, they were there, but when I wanted to talk to them, they were gone. Met Nicholas 4 times. He literally ran past me. I had a fever for a few days in the evening and couldn't sleep, but I didn't see or hear anything. Now that I'm well, they seem to be coming back. April 26th at 1 o'clock in the morning, the housewife who died a year ago came. Don't know her name. She looked very sad, didn't stay long, kept pacing. The next day on April 27th again, stayed longer. She looked at me steadily, but didn't answer anything. Saw Nicholas twice, always looking. On April 29th, the housekeeper was with me from 3 to 4:30 a.m., very sad. She wants to talk and can't. I don't like her very much because she's always staring at me. Saw the 11 pillars of fog. On May 1st, she was already in my room when I went to sleep. I held out a towel for her to squeeze with her hand. She came very close but didn't do it. On May 4th, she came twice in the night, bent all over me. I really hate that. I also saw Nicholas again. I asked the housekeeper what her name was. I did it many times without getting a reply. A hideous sound then sounded like looked very sad. She must be very fond of holy water because she is restless until I give it to her. Now, there is a footnote in here when they talked about the housekeeper, and it says, Pastor Sebastian Weiser knew the deceased, Barbara Z., very well in life. Barbara is Babette. According to him, Babette was a single, apparently pious, but very hysterical and sensual person who wrote long letters to the clergy and cunningly slandered one of them. Her end was that she gave birth to a child and died of it less than a year later. So if you remember going up in the notes, she just can't speak. So perhaps her punishment is that she can't speak because of the fact that her tongue caused many of her sins. On May 5th, she was back. I know now that her name was Babette. She makes me very tired because she always stays so late. I saw that her clothes were all torn. She also has something on her mouth. I couldn't see it clearly. May 9th, she was back twice in the night. Also saw the 11 again. May 12th, I met Nicholas in the corridor. He looks quite friendly. May 13th, the housekeeper again, very unpleasant, bent over me. Her mouth is hideous, like a boil. Her lower lip all black. Also, her eyes are very troublesome. Would be so glad if I could break through to her, but I get nothing out of her. She wants to talk, but can't. May 14th, again, she opened the door, which I closed specifically for rehearsal. May 15th, I saw Nicholas again. May 18th, the housekeeper was with me from 1 a.m. to 3:30 a.m., walking around the room. It's awful. I don't know how I can help. I've prayed, but I can't do it all the time. Her mouth is hideous. May 19th again, but briefly. May 21st, she came at dusk. 4:30 a.m., woke me up with a noise because I was advised to do so. I held out a particle of the cross and asked, "Are you damned?" To which she shook her head in the negative. Then I said, "I beg you to tell me what you want. I don't want to see you anymore." Then came in tones that were difficult to understand. "Always lied to Pastor." I asked her to repeat it because of the difficult meaning, but she left and opened the door again. May 22nd, she came all distraught, like someone fleeing from something. She looked hideous. I said, "I command you to tell me why you always come to me." Then she came right up to me and pointed to her mouth. I was very scared. Then she was gone. May 23rd, I had hardly fallen asleep when she was back. I said, "If you don't tell me what you want now, I won't pray for you anymore." There was no answer for a long time, then an incomprehensible murmur. I said, "Tell me again what you said about lying." She comes very close and says clearly, "Must suffer, have slandered, lied a lot. Tell the pastor." I said, "Why don't you go to him?" But again, no answer. May 24th, she came with another figure that I could not recognize. I was so scared. I held out the particle of the cross to them and said, "I beg you, don't come anymore. You will have a holy mass." I saw the two women in the church again. With the other books that I've read on purgatory, the one specifically St. Francis of Rome, which talked about specific punishments in purgatory and hell for specific sins, as well as what I've learned from reading Maria Sima's interview, it is becoming clearer to me that God is very just. Every specific sin has a specific punishment. For these slanderous sins, we will be punished in our mouths. This woman's punished with boils and black lips and the inability to speak or communicate when she wants to. Please go to the Lord, go to adoration, ask the Lord to reveal to you what are your specific sins so that you unlike these people, don't have to suffer the consequences of them in purgatory, that you can make amends here on earth. You can go to confession. And if we are so blessed, be able to wipe away the punishments of your sin on the next Divine Mercy Sunday. What a gracious God we have. How gracious He is for even letting these souls visit and let the messages come to us years later. I don't know if it's helping you, but it's surely helping me. Let's win some souls together. I'm Dr. Christine Bacon. Thanks for watching this Bacon Bit. And as always, remember to live your life sunny side up.